Good morning, guys. So today we're going to review and learn how to figure out the y-intercept of a line. I always have a hard time spelling that. And the x-intercept. Finally, I got it right. So we're going to figure out how to get the y-intercept and the x-intercept of a linear equation, okay? So first, guys, let's review on what does the y-intercept mean and what does the x-intercept mean. So if we have our little graph right here, okay, and let's try to figure out the y-intercept first. So this is x and this is y. Y-intercept means where does the line cross the y-axis, okay? So let's say, my line is right here, okay? So x has to be equal to 0, so we're in this line. Because if we have x is equal to 2, we're not on the x-axis. If it's -2, again, we're not on the x-axis. We need to be in the y-axis. So that means whenever we're trying to find the y-intercept, x has to equal to 0, so we stay in this line. Okay? So again, in order to find the y-intercept, I'm just going to write intercept like that. X has to equal to 0. Okay? Same thing with the x-intercept. So x-intercept is where does the line cross the x-axis. Okay, so again, it has to cross this line. So if y is 2, let's say, I'm up here. I am not at the x. If y is -3, I'm down here. I'm not up here, right? And I need to make sure that I'm on the x-axis. So in order to find the x-intercept, that means that y has to equal to 0, so I stay down here. Okay, so y has to equal to 0 in order to find the x-axis. Okay, so now, how do we do that in math? If it's the x-intercept, how do we figure out where in the x-line or the x-axis does it cross? Okay, so let's do some math. So let's start with the y-axis. Okay, so again, to review the linear equation, y is equal to mx plus b. M is the slope. Okay, and b is the y-intercept. Now this one, there's two ways to do it, right? You should be able to tell what the y-intercept is from looking at the equation because it's the last number. But let's say we didn't know that and that we're gonna figure it out. Okay, so let's pretend we have the equation y is equal to 2x plus 3. Okay. So again, we know that b is the y-intercept, so our y-intercept is 3. But let's say we didn't know, okay? So, to find the y-intercept, we need to make x equal 0. So that's exactly what we're going to do down here. So again, to find the y-intercept, we need to make x equal 0. So down here, that's what I'm going to do. So y is equal to 2. Again, x has to equal to 0 plus 3. And guys, right here, just to make it clear, I'm going to write we're trying to find the y-intercept. Okay? So, again, we made x equals 0. From there, we can solve for the equation. So, I like to do a little line right here, so I have both sides. So now, equals, so 2 times 0 is 0 plus 3. 0 plus 3, so y is equal to 3. So, and this is not just it, guys. So again, I'm trying to find a y-intercept. So I know that x is 0, and I know that y is 3. So this is the y-intercept. Okay? So now let's try to figure out the x-intercept. Okay? So we're going to use the same equation. But now again, we're going to try to find the x-intercept. So again, our equation is y is equal to 2x plus 3. Now, if we remember from our notes, in order to find the x-intercept, we need to make y equal 0. So we're going to go down here. And we're going to make that y equal 0. So we're going to be left with 0 equals 2x plus 3. So now all you need to do is figure out what is x. So again, I like to do a little line right here. And now I can solve for the equation. So my first step is I want that x to be by itself. So I'm going to get rid of this 3 first. So what's the opposite of adding? Subtracting. So I'm going to do, and the reason why, guys, I want to cancel this out because I want that x to be by itself. So I'm going to do minus 3 on both sides. Okay, so now 0 minus 3 is negative 3. And then 2x, so equals 2x. And then 3 minus 3 is 0, so I cancel that out. So now this is what I'm left with. So now, remember, when you have a number next to a letter, that means multiply. Again, we're trying to get rid of that 2 so that x is by itself. So the way to do this, guys, I'm going to divide, because that's the opposite of multiply. So I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. So 2 divided by 2 is just 1, so I can cancel that out. So I'm left with negative 3 over 2 is equal to x. So that's my x value. Guys, you can make it into a proper fraction since this is an improper fraction. I'm not going to go over that right now because I want to focus on figuring out the intercept, okay? So now, again, this is not our final answer. We need to make it into a point, right? So x is equal to negative 3 over 2. Oops, negative 3 over 2. And our y value is 0. So that's our final answer. Again, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to comment. And yeah, good luck, guys.